Aloha! Welcome back to the Dread Planet. My name is Tiki C, and my goal for this video series is to convert 50 blueprints for use on this planet. I have searched through the most popular blueprints of all time on the Steam Workshop, looking for blueprints that would fit into the abandoned theme on this planet. And for each blueprint I spawn in this creative game, take a quick tour of each, remove devices and blocks that wouldn't be found on this planet, damage the building randomly, replace blocks with destroyed or truss blocks, paint on some dirt, save, and celebrate. So for today, I have 5 more blueprints to convert. The first one is the Research Station 1A by Kithid. Next we have the Model 99 GE Outpost by Cinerite. And then the Exviro Bunker Enhanced by Feign. Then we have the Creative Libra 2 by Lord Kronus. And finally, the Office Suite by Eddie Price. Thank you to all of the authors for their artistic works and their contributions to the community. A special thank you goes out to Revian for the Project Eden scenario. Are you ready? I am. Here we go. Okay, and we're back. So for this one, I kept it pretty simple. With the 4 turrets, I had to remove all the turrets so it fits into the scenario. I made some fake guns. Yes, they look lame. It's my first try. I'll work on that, iterate on that one. So all 4 towers are neutered. I put a hole in the side, simple hole. Some of the blocks, when I went to place them and paint them, the paint was the wrong way, and that flares my OCD. The paint has to match the artist's vision, so that didn't work for some of the blocks. I did the dirt paint here, made a hole in the front, put some truss blocks in. I removed the tier 2 CPU extender since they're not in the POIs in the game. Core's up here, that stays there. Otherwise, it's pretty much intact. I like this little base. This would make a great little starter base. So I'm going to take a look at this, and I'm going to click Alt-O, and then this is the Research Station 1A. I've already created a template for this one, Eden BAJ Research Station. So I'm going to click on Save Damage States, and I'm going to overwrite this one. I do have to set the level at which it spawns. Let's see here, -2, -4. I think -4, so it spawns right here. Seems right. Maybe -6. -2 per block. -4, -6. Yeah, maybe -6. Okay, so I'll do that. So under blueprints, double click on Research Station, and I'm going to do offset -6, and everything else looks good. Set that, look at it again, save it again, overwrite with the Save Damage States block on, and that one's done. It's ready to be inserted into the game. All right, next. All right, this one's done. Just a couple holes in this one. I tried to match the artist's color and texture scheme as best as I could so that the damage blocks blend in. Hole right there. I tried to match that as best as I could so it looks good. Looks like it matches. And a hole here in one of the apartments. This design, a couple things. This is a really cool design. I like these truss for the solar panels. That looks nice. Just did a little couple cuts in there. Inside, just did some minor damage in the front area. Kept all of the medical machines. Feeling generous today. So for this room, I really like the design of this core room. So this is really cool. I didn't want to mess this up a lot. So I did have to enable player access to the core down here. So I was really careful about just cutting a hole, putting a couple damage blocks in here, and then doing good paint matching. So I want to retain the artist's vision and respect that, but I also need to make sure that the player can get in there and get that core. Okay, so yeah, big hole in the garden area here. And then there's like an offshoot, a furnace or a deconstructor room. Let's see, how many squares is this? Maybe this is a auxiliary power room. I'm not sure what the purpose is. Anyways, just a simple hole in here. And then they can use that for expansion, I guess. In the room with the constructors, it was symmetric here. So there was a container controller and a constructor and a solar battery over here. So I just did a hole in there. There is a basement, taking the elevator down. And there's like a storage area. So just a couple truss blocks down here. And then the player can do whatever they want down here in the basement. Back up to the level 3. There's a kitchen. Kept the kitchen intact. Just some damaged windows. And then there's like a living quarters here. So this one's alright. There's a couple damage. There's some damage in the roof, so it's not going to be airtight. But this one, you can fix this one up. And then if we go back up the elevator, this one is, there's a large hole in here. All the furniture's gone, but there is a wardrobes for some loot. And I kept this this area intact, so it's ready to move in for the player. So they can have a nice little little office slash bedroom right there. I like that. Got rid of the turrets. I did not do the fake turrets this time. I need to work on that creative. And I think we're good to go. Now let's see. A blueprint ground offset. I think this one is level with the ground. There's a tunnel in here too. So I think this is just going to be a 0 ground offset. So let's take a look at this. Hit Alt-O. And this one is model 99GE. So we're going to save damage states on that and overwrite it. Then we're going to go back in and double click on that. Correct group name. Spawn name's good. Ground offset 0. No tags. Those two we want checked. So this is good. We're done with this one. And let's move on to Exviro Bunker Enhanced. Okay, we're all done with Exviro Bunker Enhanced. This one I got a little carried away on making holes. I made 6 holes, so 1 in the garden. I converted all of the hint ground plots to actual plots. I put 2 holes in the sides and removed the large generators to simulate some sort of attack on the generators. Kept the furnace in. It's nice to have a furnace once in a while. I made a hole in the roof in the garage, a multi-level hole with different blocks, and some of them damaged, some of them not. So I like that. Left some pieces on the floor to indicate some debris, I should say. Like all of these cargo boxes, this is a lot of good loot for the player to find, the random loot. Let's see. The main room, all I did was cut a hole in the basement here. There was a lot of fuel, so I had to cut back on all those fuel tanks. I left some down there for the player to find. What else? A hole in the side here. Removed one of the constructors and just blew a hole straight in the side. I did leave the core room intact, and the reason why is as the player's coming up the elevator and they see the core room and all these sentries pointing at them, that's enough to scare you for half a second, but power's going to be off when it's saved, so they should not attack the player, I think. I'll have to test that. Anyways, the core room, I do like this core room. I'm going to keep it intact. So that is that. I'm going to save that. Let's see here. So I hit P, and I forgot to turn off the power in the other ones, so I went back and resaved them. So power off. Look at it. Alt O. And this one is the Exviro bunker. So I'm going to save damage states and overwrite that one. And then ground offset. Ground offset, I think this needs to go -2 for block. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 blocks. That seems right. Yeah, okay. So we'll do, that's -8. Maybe -7. Oh, -8. Okay, we'll do -8. So go into the blueprints. Double click on that. -8. Everything else is good. Set that. Go back. Look at it again. Alt O. Click this. Overwrite that. Done. Alright. Number 4. Creative Libra number 2. Here we go.
Whoa, 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 yeah, we are in the place of
Alright, number 4 is done. Did some overall damage here, replaced some of the solar with truss. The challenge with this one is that a lot of the guts, or the components, were underneath the base, so I had to remove a bunch of them and then enable access for the player to find them. For example, in the first garage here, I had to cut into the floor to make sure that the player could get the core, and then hopefully notice that there's generators and fuel tanks down there, so they can dig that out. And over here, same kind of thing. There was some solar down here, so I left those down, and same with the O2 tanks, so the player should be able to see what's underneath and grab that loot. Large hole in the floor here, large hole in the side in the roof. Again, just experimenting with destroyed blocks to see if I can get that blown in look, or cutout look, if you will. Did the dirt paint on here. Had to remove the 6 NPCs and the ATMs since they're not found on this planet. And I think that is that. So I'll save this one. Let's see. The ground offset should probably be -1, like halfway through this block. So let's look at it. Hit Alt-O. This one is Exviro bunker. Save damage states. Overwrite. And then go back in. And then double click on that. Actually, no, this is not Exviro. Darn it, the other one was. This is Creative Libra. So I'm going to have to resave the other one. Alright, Creative Libra 2. Save damage states. Overwrite. Then go into this one. Double click on that. Make that a -1. Set that. Resave Creative Libra. Those save damage states on. Quickly run over here and fix that. Alt-O. Exviro. Save damage stage. Alright, great. Fix that. Last one, the final one. This, I know it's way too big. The size class is on this thing is huge. What is the size class on this thing? This is the office suite. Size class is 7. So my plan with this one is to cut it down like halfway through diagonal, just slice through this tower. The upper floors on this are empty, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So that's my thought, is a large laser just came through and cut it. So I'm going to try for that sort of aesthetic and probably blow the roofs or take large chunks out of this building like it was under a massive attack. So that's my battle plan for this one. Let's see how it goes. And we're done with the office suite. Okay, so for this one, I did cut away at it, but not necessarily at the angle that I was initially thinking. But yeah, I like the cutaway look, and I also cut this part off. This is the only POI or base that I actually added things to. I added about 30 or 40 odd pieces of furniture, so it's partially furnished. And it gives the player an incentive or a motive to climb up that tower and get all of the loot in here. So yeah, this was another fun one. I appreciate the artist's work. So let's go ahead and save this. So Alt-O, and then it is going to be under Eden BHA. Oops. BHA, and this is the office suite. And we're going to save damage states on that. Overwrite that. Let's see how I should just be at a 0 ground level spawn. Let's go back in there and double check that. Office suite 0. Yep, great. Okay. And did I turn the power off? I did not turn the power off. Okay, let's save it again. Office suite, save damage states, overwrite, done. All right, that's it. We're done. I've converted 5 more for a total of 25 blueprints converted. I'm halfway there. Thank you so much for joining me today and sticking with me. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a great day.